Hello and happy Saturday. I'm feeling much better today. Still got a little bit of a raspy voice, so I'm going to try to keep talking to a little bit of a minimum. Today, we're going to be playing this game called Seasons, A Letter to the Future. This game came out in March of 2023. I was lucky enough to get a key from one of the companies that was like helping promote the game, and I ended up running into some personal things that I didn't allow me to stream at the time. From what I understand, this game stylistically is absolutely beautiful. It's got a focus on just being present in the environment, and there's a story, I guess, about, you know, I think there's a world ending or possibly something like that. But I'm kind of going into this completely oblivious. This game was one of the trailers that I saw for PlayStation 5, and I was absolutely enamored with how beautiful it looked, and the sound focus, and just sort of like the scope of what the game looked like. So we're going to play this. Let's get into it. Oops, sorry. This work of fiction was designed, developed, and produced by a team made up of different cultures, backgrounds. Okay. All right, I have a controller. Oh, let me switch my headphones. Sound effect captions. Wow. Really good accessibility settings. Nice.
Who are you? I don't know, but I'm writing to you anyway. Where are you? How far in the future? Where'd you find my journal? I may never know, but you can know me from what I put down on these pages. I come from a little village in the mountains. No one has left here since before I was born. But our lives changed overnight. Just a few days ago when my best friend had a prophetic dream. A vision that the elder said means this season is going to end soon. The world is about to enter a new era. A great change is coming. Everyone was afraid. I was surrounded by questions and I began to feel how little I know. What is this season that is about to end, and why is it ending? What exactly is out there that could turn the world inside out? If there are still voices singing and laughing in the wilderness, I could record them before they're gone. I also thought of my dad, who always wanted to see the outside world but never did. So, I asked if I could leave. The elder had one condition for letting me go: that I take what I collect to the museum vault, a palace of art and memory at the edge of the earth. She says it's the only place safe from the turmoil of a changing season. I hope that's where you're reading this now. I can't stop the change that is coming, but this time on Earth could live on in these pages. What it looks like, sounds like, how it feels to be alive right now. I'm writing to you at the crack of dawn on the morning I leave home. I can smell breakfast cooking in the other room, and I can hear my mom's voice.
The morning I leave home. All right.
Three, two, one. Hooray! Mr. Lotto's here.
Okay. Mr. Lotto. Catalog of fearsome tales. Insect husk. Money? 10 poems. Huh. Alright, where am I going? Absorb the moment. Study the scene.
The last moment in this little house. There used to be 3 of us here. My mom and dad and me. Soon it will be just her. Her and all these memories. But in this moment, everything is the same as ever. Until I shift my weight. The floorboards creak. Mom hears it and turns to me.
You're up. What are you doing standing there? Time to get going. It's gonna be a beautiful morning. I'm making progress. I found the burner, camera, recorder, travel bag. Breakfast is in progress. Still gotta make a pendant. We haven't used this in so long. Good thing I saved the instructions. Just as you would use a shield to protect your body, an identity pendant protects your mind. Your thoughts, memories, everything that makes you, you. We don't wear them here in the village anymore, but if you're going into the outside world, I'll feel better when you've got a pendant shielding you.
Oh. So she's aware. Shielding against what? Yeah.
Diseases of the mind,
Oh.
like the dream sickness.
Where'd the dream sickness come
We don't
from?
know what caused it. We heard people suddenly fell into an eternal sleep.
Oh.
These were years of wild rumors, and half of them turned out to be true.
Whoa. Okay.
In times of war, a pendant can be used to identify a body. Let's skip that part. Objects have 2 layers, the physical and the mental. The pendant needs to absorb both. 1. Collect a sentimental object for each sense: sound, smell, feel, sight, taste. 2. Feel the sense and speak aloud a memory of the object. 3. Feed the object into the burner.
Oh.
The memory will leave the speaker as it is transferred to the pendant. That means I'll forget the memory after I say it.
Whoa.
It's supposed to be painless. At least. No, you must remember everything. That's your role.
What?
The pendant needs this little sacrifice. I want to be sure it works. Don't be afraid. A few memories is a small price to pay for knowing you'll be safe.
Wow. I thought
Okay, so-
I didn't think there would be any sort of whimsical element at all to
This
this
old
game.
tape should work for our sense of sound. I remember. You and I fell asleep listening to this tape. Your dad came home. We all rested together until it got dark.
Whoa.
What an odd feeling. Like an absence, disappearing. The empty space fills itself back in until I forget that I forgot anything at all. I'm glad I'm only losing a few memories. If I lost too many, I wouldn't even know who you are. You should pick the rest of the objects. I'll lose the memories, but you'll have them independent forever. So they should be important to you. They should be parts of your identity you want to be sure to protect. So think about what these items and what the memories would preserve about you. Let's do smell next. Find an object with a strong odor and that holds a piece of you.
Ancient perfume, sweet. Nothing is ever lost.
This sound bath that's happening is fantastic. Prize ribbon, origami.
My bag and Dad's camera, ready for the great departure.
I don't think there was anything else in here. I think the dried flowers will probably be the best thing for me to...
Nothing. I always looked for other worlds.
Yeah, the dried flowers.
What did you choose for smell? Let's breathe in deep. Your dad used to bring these flowers home from his climbs. They only grow high up in the mountains. He was a great climber. He even found us a new source of water. I hoped after he would climb less, maybe even retire. But he always wanted to explore, and the only direction to go was up. Maybe the Elder is letting you leave out of guilt for what happened to your dad. If someone has the energy to leave, it needs to go somewhere. He fell into the Fitz ravine. We never found his body. But doesn't he rest with us at night? Doesn't he appear in our dreams? How can such a human being depart this earth without leaving behind a trace? A trace as strong as the flowers would still have their scent. Darling, I don't want to lose this one. I can't lose this one. Can we put the flowers back, please? Thank you.
It would be so selfish of me to... It would be... I would feel so bad taking something like that.
Granite, seaside, darkness. This speaks to how my mom loves me.
Wow. I don't think I have a choice.
Honey, wax, baby, waves. I was loved by people I have no memory of.
What did you choose for smell?
Candle.
Let's breathe in deep. This kind of candle keeps someone alive for the time it takes to burn. Just a few hours when death is nearby. It can be enough for last rites, last words. This was Grandma's candle. She didn't want to use it. You spent a lot of time with her when you were a baby. I realized she wouldn't live long enough for you to remember her, or for her to see you grow up and discover what kind of person you'd be. So in a way, you don't know her, and she didn't know you. And yet, she loved you. I don't know where love goes, but it belongs to you anyway. Now touch. Pick something with a texture you like.
Fabric, skin, plush, limbs. This speaks to how my dad loved me.
So what did you end up choosing?
Mr. Lotta.
Okay, feel the object. I remember. You used to take him everywhere with you. One night, you forgot him in the plaza. It was cold and raining that night, but your dad leaped into action as if the doll was a real member of the family. I have this image of his face as he ran out into the storm, completely serious, no hesitation. And when your dad returned with the doll, I forgot for a moment that he's just fabric, stitched into the form of an animal. It felt as if he had a soul, because you'd projected one into him. What was dear to you was dear to us. That was... we were whole. For a little while. I'm fine. Let's do sight next. Pick something that looks nice.
Dignified ringer. I always looked for other worlds.
I like the insect husk.
Poisoned, blue, shine. I look closely.
So, what did you end up choosing?
Oh. My controller died. Hold on. That was weird. Bu- 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 bu.
When you were a little kid and I'd wash your pants, I'd check the pockets and find all kinds of little things you'd collected off the ground. Rocks, leaves, bits of string, and bugs. It happened less and less as you got older. But I remember the afternoon I found this beautiful blue beetle in your pocket. I thought, oh, this might be the last time. And this dead insect suddenly became so precious to me. What is it in our young eyes that imbue every small thing with meaning? Why do we lose this? I don't think you ever did. For taste, we can eat breakfast and feed some to the burner. The memory I'll lose is the one we're forming right now. I want you to have it forever. Standing here, you're having a last taste of home. Now you're protected by lost memories. A gem of home around your neck. This is my only condition for letting you go. You must promise me never to take the pendant off. And never tamper with it. Okay? Then I'm okay with you leaving. I think your camera and bag are still in your room. It's time to gather them up. I've lost so much. How could the world ask me to lose you too? Look at us. There we are. There we were. We'll always be right here on this beautiful morning.
Aw. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful start to this. Goodbye ritual.
I just performed a ritual with my mom. The moment has passed, but I'll record it in these pages for you, for the future.
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, that is so cool. Can I move it once it's set or no? Okay. You change the scale.
I never knew when my mom would share a memory of Dad while cooking, on a walk, with no warning. It knocked the wind out of me. Rituals take this grief and give it a shape and a story. Filling in this journal is a ritual too, but for a loss that hasn't hit us yet.
Oh, nice. Okay, so I can change it after it's set. Okay, I had a better idea for how I wanted to place this stuff. Cool. I come from a little village in the mountains. No one has left here since before I was born. But our lives changed overnight just a few days ago when my best friend had a prophetic dream. A vision that the elder said means this season is going to end soon. The world is about to enter a new era. A great change is coming. Everyone is afraid. Okay, so that was the whole beginning of the game. That's cool.
To record the sights and sounds of this season. I'll start by recording the only place I've ever known. Public sleep music is a tradition of ours here. When the music ends, the village will begin to wake up. We have plenty of fresh water here. I wonder if it's more scarce in the outside world. Last night there was a goodbye party here in the plaza. Everyone was so afraid for me. To understand that fear, to understand where I grew up, you have to know the man standing watch over the plaza, Dr. Fumio.
Dr. Fumio.
Dr. Fumio said the dream sickness was caused by something very powerful. He wasn't able to cure it. Dr. Fumio and his son founded Cairo back in 776. They live on through our traditions. There are 3 murals celebrating Dr. Fumio's work.
The camera is not sensitive enough. I'll put it at like 90.
There's something eerie about an instrument that plays itself. But when...
Interesting.
This is a healing instrument created by Dr. Fumio. It draws on the pure mountain air.
What is this?
Smells like an old man's toes dipped in cinnamon. I had to drink this gross potion last night. Like my pendant, it's supposed to protect my brain.
I'm hearing a bird, but
A wish fell off the tree. I'm not supposed to read them, but it might be good for you to have an example of one. I
Wow.
can go against tradition a little for posterity. This is Dr. Fumio and his son. The statue isn't as old as it looks. The artist wore it down to give it a feeling of ancientness and the authority that comes with it. Remembering everything must be painful. Dr. Fumio brought peace to so many people here. I wish I could tell you more about this poster, but I never thought to ask what it means. Now we'll both never know what it means. Oh well. The elder sought out Dr. Fumio to cure her mother, who was suffering from time misperception.
oh, you can make filters.
The ruins in the distance were used to make us afraid of the outside world. Dangerous and impossible to reach, they said.
Okay. Keepsakes.
A village that was created as a place to heal. Is that where my instinct to try to help comes from?
Hmm.
It's so strange to imagine I'll be shaped by places and people I haven't met yet. So strange to imagine that I might feel at home somewhere else. I go fishing here with my best friend Pate, even though there's nothing to catch. We both appreciate the silence. Caro Village was founded during the modernity. Much later, Dr. Fumio arrived and remade it in his image. This flower means you're in my thoughts. The morning after the search was called off for Dad, our doorstep was covered in them.
Wow. That's really cool.
A trip just as slow, reliable, and oddly satisfying as life itself in this little village.
Is it recording?
Yes.
Okay. How to leave home for my daughter. Find a sacred square of earth. Lay down so you have the dirt at your back. Close your eyes. Close everything. Do you see for yourself? You see for the dead, for the unborn. Do you listen for yourself? You listen for the dead, for the unborn. Your ancestors are in that dirt. All the living and all the dead are holding you up. Now, stand. They're still there, aren't they? It's time to move, to entangle yourself everywhere with everyone. So the next time you lay down in the dirt, you will have so much more to tell them.
I've always wondered what's on the other side of this gate. Today, I'll find out.
Camera's doing some weird stuff.
These bikes were used by messengers a long, long time ago. Tate fixed up 3 bikes instead of 1.
Which bike? I'll do the blue one. Wow. There's the title card.
From the village, these cranes look like little creatures, grazing. I had no idea how huge they are. The Asian Islands.
feel like I'm walking tipsy on the edge of the earth. We're skipping from island to island the way a stone skips along the surface of the water, leaving little ripples, like a kiss or two. Oh, I don't know. I just miss you today, and today, and today. XOXO, you know who? Hey, guess where I am? I hope you looked at this side first. I had to pay my respects to the birthplace of Manchez. There's a lot of tourists, but also a weird feeling to the place it would take me more than a postcard to explain. Take care, Aldo. This village was very hard to find, but if you really need it, somehow you make your way there. I just wanted to let you know that I'm staying here for good. This season can only meet a violent end. It's too bright, too cheery. Stay safe,
I can see in
Conway.
these letters that the outside world has extremes of beauty and tragedy beyond anything I've known.
What an interesting sounding bird.
I wish humans had evolved to sing instead of talk. I forgot what I was going to say. My first time petting an animal. I think it went pretty well. We learned about old technology in school, but not much about animals. What are these strange goat-like creatures? Are they simply goats?
That one's too busy eating. It's her first time petting an animal. The scale at which these things are, it's nuts. I wonder if I can get in there. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. The sounds that makes is pretty terrifying, to be
I
honest.
cycled through landscapes, seeing them for the first and last time. I had no idea when I left my home how the season would end, or more importantly, how soon.
How soon?
On a cold, damp day, I feel true loneliness for the first time. Nobody could have described with words how big this world is, how it goes and goes. I passed through it, where others passed before me. I feel nourished in these sights by the unfamiliarity of it all. These means of connection, long in disuse, are certainly telling me something about the world. Will they be used again in the next season?
Oh yeah, what are the keepsakes?
The blades turn, but I bet they don't generate any power. Probably just swirling the air around. This person wanted the season to change. Why?
I thought I might change the season by changing the landscape. Cut these down like trees. But that's not how seasons change.
This structure dominates the landscape but wasn't made for it. It's for passing through, for moving elsewhere. They wanted the season to change because they were so alone. One melody is like me out here alone. I can't really... I have a feeling they use these music boxes to fall asleep. They kept themselves company with music. Two voices is like me and my mom. We can survive, but eventually you need more.
I'm gonna wind all three up. See what happens. This game's giving me a little bit of Steven Universe vibes.
Three voices as complex as life is supposed to be. I could listen forever. Looks like they made it out of here. But what is this group? When I was a kid, I heard voices talking inside the sound of rain. I still listen for it, even though I know it's not there. In the empty places, I found companionship in the tapes I recorded before leaving home. The elder told me the story of her life. I listened back to it, ready to note down anything that seemed important.
Let's set the scene for the listener, whoever that might be. This is the elder speaking. We're sitting in the plaza, saying goodbye to a dear soul. We're here to see if there's anything useful in my mind that could help you on your trip. A century's worth of memories, dreams, fantasies, visions. Like a big, old, haunted library. When I die, this library will burn down. But which book should we check out first? I don't have all the answers. But I do feel the story of my life could help you understand what kind of world is out there.
Do you have any advice for my trip?
It's okay not to understand everything right away. The moment may pass before you've gotten a firm hold on it. But as long as you're there to witness it, to take it down in your journal, you and others to come will someday take the time to make sense of it all.
What's your real name?
Francis Kale, if you must know. You can call me Frank. Or Elder. Or the Elder. Or Elder Frank. You know, whatever. I don't care.
Where were you born?
I was born on the ocean. My mother and father worked on a cruise ship. The short-lived but glorious, watery republics. Floating cities. Most won their independence by the time I was born. How can I describe them? They were a jewel of the golden season. Pleasure boats with a radical political program. The golden age was a time of flags, logos, mottos, mastheads. My mom taught me to read them. She was the ship's philosopher. My dad was a recycling engineer. Recycling on the ship was a matter of life and death. We had to get the most out of every object and watt of energy.
Tell me about your mom.
These symbols and gestures were layered with meaning. There are signals in the way you might move your hands or close your eyes. Her job was to manage the symbols and their meanings. She designed the ship's flag, for example. Let me draw it for you. After the war, people were disgusted with groups and symbols. Keep an eye out on your trip. I bet you won't see a signal flag flying. Her name was Augusta Kale.
What was it like growing up there?
I loved the way the ship would tilt and roll with the waves, especially as I fell asleep. It was so comforting. Picture me as a kid in bed, feeling the swaying of the ship. It was like being rocked to sleep as a baby. I loved exploring the ship too, wandering through the suites, the swimming pool, the game rooms, and oh, there were 2 dance halls. A large, elegant one and another one in the basement. A lot of my firsts were down there. My first dance, my first kiss, and so forth.
When did you leave the ship?
Our ship was taken over in the early days of the war. That was the end of the watery republics. I heard the dance hall in the basement became a weapons cache. Took me half my life to say goodbye to the world I knew in my youth. Imagine me and my parents and everyone I knew being escorted off the ship by a company of soldiers. And I'm thinking, I hope they don't make a mess of my room. I was embarrassed by the younger kids who were crying their eyes out, but they knew, I guess.
Was that the end of a season?
Yes, the start of the war was a turning of seasons, and we had been warned this season was going to end. Oh, but we didn't understand the warning. You see, one night, along a coastline, we saw beautiful lights shimmering above the water. Later, we found out this was an ancient warning system. It hadn't been used in so long. We didn't know what it meant. We just thought, well, ain't that pretty? We tried to stick together and camped out on the coast of the Prismatic Grounds.
What's the Prismatic Grounds?
A kingdom of art and science. They got rich during the golden season. Everything that made them beloved before the wealth came. Passionate, uncompromising, self-obsessed, made them unbearable once they had power. Artists make terrible kings. Are you sure you want me to keep going? The story gets darker from here on.
Let's keep going.
Okay, so conditions in the camp were getting worse. My mom got lost in thought for long periods of time. She'd be completely still for hours, days even. We realized she caught, well, now we call it time misperception disorder. It's when you lose your ability to tell how much time is passing. A minute can feel like an hour. A day can pass in 10 seconds.
How did she catch it?
We don't know exactly. Our consciousness is delicate. There are minerals and sounds that can adjust it. Dr. Fumio's greatest fear was that someone would use this as a weapon. We heard about a traveling doctor who could cure these kinds of diseases. I decided to go find him. I found out his name was Dr. Fumio, and he traveled with his son Lucio. People talked about him like he was a god.
What happened when you found them?
I described my mom's condition to Dr. Fumio. He said there was no cure yet, but there was a village high in the mountains. He thought it was high enough he'd have a better chance at treatment. Lower places are more dangerous. Valleys are the worst. He invited me to join them in going to the village, but I wanted to go back and get my parents and bring them with me.
What happened next?
I packed my things and got ready to leave the next morning. At night, my mom came to me in a dream. She was standing in a field of flowers. I'd grown since I last saw her. We were the same height. She pressed a finger hard into my palm. She taught me well. I knew the meaning of the gesture. I knew no matter what I did, I'd never see my parents again.
Wow.
In the morning, I told Dr. Fumio I would follow him to Karo village. The next few weeks were very physically tiring, hiking, climbing. And when we found the village, building, planting, cleaning, Fumio brought sick people from all over the world, and they got better. The treatments worked. Everyone was healing. So why couldn't I? One day, We got word the war was over. We never found out how it ended. It was like peace just swept over the earth in a split second. There was a party in the plaza to celebrate the end of the war, but I couldn't bring myself to go. Yes, it was over, but it had taken my home, my family. That night, as I was falling asleep, I felt the bed tilt and sway gently, as if it was being tossed on the waves of the ocean, as if I was back in my bedroom on the ship, as if I was back in my mother's arms, being rocked gently to sleep. I knew I was finally home, and nothing could hurt me.
Wow.
I imagined coming upon a place as hidden and singular as my own village. Eventually, I found myself circling a valley, looking for a way in.
Okay. I love this sound.
Time seems to pass differently around here. I feel so heavy and so light at the same time. I'm not really alone. I'm with myself. I'm with the earth.
Okay. It's a giant dam.
This is a truly enormous, impassive structure.
Wow.
We never used this kind of
5:15.
technology in my village. Nobody trusted it. Wow, it's still working. It's still delivering power somewhere. heard sounds that can heal the mind. It feels like this noise would do the opposite.
Oh, hey.
Oh. The valley. One second.
The elder said that people were exhausted by symbols after the war. But here are a few hanging.
Is that a strotophob? What are they called?
A bicycle?
What is it? I love old gear like that.
A recorder?
It's getting more and more rare. I had a camera, but it broke. Not that interesting of a story, I guess. What are you doing here?
I'm here to observe and record the world.
The whole thing, huh? You're young. You got time. What kind of stuff are you recording?
Whatever catches my interest.
That's the way to do it, if you ask me. If anyone asked me, I mean. The valley would be a good place to use those tools. Too bad it's closed down. Let me finish up here, huh?
Why is it closed down? Flood zone.
I'm not the first to do this. Just the first in a long time.
Hey. This was like a second home for a while. That was fun earlier when you showed up. And I was carrying the cardboard man. You were like, who are these guys?
Okay.
I've been pretty bored here. You know, the valley's gonna be flooded soon. That's why nobody can go in there. The dam is falling apart.
Oh shit. Let's.
Couple of days from now. Day 0, we call it.
Who is we?
Greyhounds. We're a
Greyhounds.
community organization. We do all kinds of fun stuff. Health clinics, mine sweeping, daycare, evacuations, weddings. We're new.
Oh. What is Greyhound supposed
It
to
was
mean?
supposed to be because we're helpful yet neutral. We took a vote and decided to change the name, though. We want something more friendly sounding. I'm excited to find out what it will be.
Oh.
We're trying to get new things going. But it's hard. The past really has a tight grip on people. Doesn't feel like a fair fight. So we're trying to, well, anyway. It's funny. I stood guard here for a week, and I've only seen greyhounds like myself and valley people on their way out. But now I see you, and you're like a new element or something. I've never met anyone doing what you're doing. And we greyhounds gotta support new things. So, I'm not supposed to let anyone in. How can I? Jeez. I think you should go down into the valley and take a look. Better try something here. Dang it. I was trying to wink. Well, you get the idea.
Okay.
Go on and put that old gear to use. You can take my map of the valley, too. I don't need it anymore. I'll be down to pick everyone up around midnight. See you then.
What a friendly sounding man. Person.
I met a greyhound. He let me into the valley. I think he wanted me to record what the greyhounds were up to, and he gave me a map.
Wow.
The assembly point seemed like a good place to start.
All right. I think that's a good stopping point, don't you? Thanks for hanging out, everybody. This will be posted right after, the stream ends. I'm really enjoying this sound bath of a game. The style's beautiful. I like the voice acting. The whole start to the game was really strong. It's very, very different than anything that I've played. Beautiful. Just simply beautiful. There's not a whole lot of games where like you sit in the moment so consistently, and with the bike and like being able to ride around, take photos, record things, it's enough variation to make it interesting, and the environment set in the setting changing so drastically is really cool too. If you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll be sure to stream more of this. I'm excited to see what's in the valley. Yeah. Thanks for being here. I'll catch you later. Bye.